How's it going, YouTube? In today's video, I'm going to do an update guide on Xerath support. I'm going to show you guys how I maintain about a 57% win rate in Master Plus. Even though Xerath support, it's considered actually one of the very weakest supports currently in today's meta. We will be going over a runes build, playstyle, all that fun stuff. But without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, let's talk about Xerath runes. What are we running? We're running First Strike. The main reason we're running this is because once we complete our support item of getting the first 1,000 gold, we have no way of making income. We can't farm, we can't guarantee kills. So the best way of going about it is getting the First Strike. On average, I'm making anywhere between 1,000 to 1,500 extra gold each game from First Strike alone. So honestly, all around a great rune. We're going to be running magical footwear just because you get the bonus move speed from boots and you save so much gold from getting magical footwear. I love future market over biscuits just because it allows me to buy items and get an extra am tone or completing my item even earlier, because when you're able to complete these items earlier, it means more damage, so it means you get more gold from First Strike. So you get where I'm going with this. You kind of snowball your lead very fast. The more items you're able to complete earlier, the more gold you get. Cosmic, just because there's no real other runes to take. Just having a short cooldown on your flash, on your ignite, hands down is just the way to go. As for the secondary, this can be a little bit controversial, but this is hands down what I love to run. I don't run mana flow just because of Xerath's passive. I feel if you're able to effectively proc Xerath's passive, there's no need to have mana flow. You pretty much have unlimited mana sustain with the passive, so I run absolute focus just because this gives me 30 AP at level 18. It gives you so much AP, it's kind of crazy. And as for the very last one, I run Scorch for the early game, just allow me to apply as much pressure as possible. If we're playing like an ultimate scaling team, like if they're running like Seraphine Sona, where like Scorch will not matter in that early laning phase, I will run Gathering. But normally that's only like in 5% of my games. It's so rare for me to take Gathering over Scorch. And of course, we're going to be running double adaptive. We don't need attack speed, and we're going to be running armor. But if they are a very magic heavy team, I'll run MR. But all right, now let's talk about Xerath items. What are we going? We're going to Spelties as of course as our first one. So easy to proc as a Xerath because every time you hit him with an ability or an auto attack, you're going to get plus 20 gold. So that's definitely your best support item to go. As for our first back, I don't care if you can't afford a pink ward. Make sure on your first back you're buying a dark seal. It's just such a gold efficient item, so easy to get stacks as a Xerath, so make sure you get this item. As for our first mythic of what we're trying to work towards, it is a Ludens. Ludens is hands down one of our best mythics as support. I know some people come to me and argue that, oh, Leandre's is insanely good, and I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I think Leandre's is good, but as a support, I really think our main job is to kill the squishies. I don't really care about the tanks. That's what I have an 80 carry jungler mid laner for. Their job is to deal with the front line. My job is to poke out the squishies and do as much damage as possible. That's why I go Ludens. And as for our second item, we are going to go Shadow Flame. We're just trying to stack as much magic pen as possible. Shadow Flame, of course, like, and if they have a shield, you get the magic pen of 20, but the default magic pen is just 10 magic pen. But these two items together, proccing First Strike gives you a crap ton of gold, really good. If they do have a lot of magic resist, or they're starting to stack magic resist because you're hitting like a truck, my third item would be a Void Staff. If they're not building an MR, I would definitely just go Death Cap. And by the way, if at all you're just starting to pop off, getting a lot of kills, getting a lot of sticks, a lot of stacks, you're at like 8+ stacks, I would look to upgrade my Dark Seal into a Magi's, just because you're able to easily stay alive and poke and just able to snowball super fast. But like I said, Void Staff would be my third item, potentially a Death Cap if they're not building MR. But that is my Xerath support build normally every single game. Alright, let's talk about laning phase and abilities we're going to level up. So level 1, we're going to level up W. Why we're going to level up W over Q? Because it is 10 times easier to land our W and is pretty much guaranteed. We want to proc that First Strike, we want to proc the support item, and we want to proc Scourge as often as possible. So W is where it's at. So we're going to go W, then stun at level 2. The reason we're going stun at level 2 and not Q is for the fact that our E actually does this exact same damage as our Q, but of course it stuns also. So it's just a really good way to engage / disengage if you do need it. And of course it allows us to land the center W. But after that, we're just going to max Q into W into E. Now, since we talk about what abilities we're leveling up, what do we want to do as our game plan versus the enemy opponent? Realistically, versus no matter what matchup you're going, is kind of let them push in level 1. You never win any level 1 fights. All you can really do is just W, and you can't really auto tech because you're not going to win the auto trade or any level 1 fights to begin with. So you really just want to W and let them push towards you. That's the biggest play because we become strong after level 2 towards 3. But do remember that we don't want to trade too aggressively until this wave completely resets. If you do notice, right after the wave resets and we completely kill off the minion wave, starts when I start being aggressive. I go into the bushes, I really start looking for my WQs, looking for Stama and Nico, and able to really capitalize on the pokes now since the wave has reset. Just remember, when we are trading, we are very much a cooldown dependent champion. So do very short trades, WQs, WEs, very quick. Do not do overextended fights. I see a lot of times when I'm watching some Xerath players, what they do is they do their ability and they try to auto trade. They try to continue to fight. We want short poke trades and you walk away. That's all you do. So when the jungler is coming to gank for you, it is pretty much your job to engage the fight. So as a Xerath, you can either A, get hooked, and if you know your jungler is close enough to win the fight, you can of course do that to entice them to get into the fight. But majority of the time, all you're gonna do is throw a W, apply the slow, and look to land a stun after your slow. But that's the biggest thing, is making sure you're starting these fights for your jungler to be able to come in. But you need to remember, after you kill the laner, all you're going to do is push in the wave and reset every single time. Don't overstay for plates. Just take the free reset. Even if you're just able to buy one component, do it. Just get the full health, full mana. So when you get back to lane, the waves meet in the middle. Now, I feel like if you take away from anything out of this guide, it is going to be how to roam effectively. So the easiest way to teach a person how to roam, every single time you back, you don't pass straight back bot. We're going to pass towards mid. And remember, at the start of this fight, we're going to throw out the slow. So, of course, this allows us to get in range to pretty much auto attack, but we're really looking to get the guarantee stun. Sadly, I don't land it, but realistically, we just need to be there to cast a slow, cast a knight, and just auto them down. And majority of the time, that is more than enough to get you the early game kill. I do want to emphasize is when you do path towards mid, you don't always have to gank. There's not always a gank opportunity because maybe your mid laner reset, maybe the enemy mid laner is too strong, and maybe you're just like, they're just too low, it's too risky. So a lot of times you just want to put a ward down at Pixel and then run back bot. Now, if you really think about it, taking that path is only adding 6 or 7 seconds, but it's putting you in a position to maybe do a counter gank, maybe do a gank mid. Just being at the right place at the right time will win you so many more games. But that's pretty much it for my support guide. If you do want to see more in-depth guide, please let me know down in the comments. Tell me what topic you want me to look at. Maybe it's warding, maybe it's more into the early, mid, late game. Just let me know down below. If you hit that like and subscribe button, that will help me a bunch for my future videos. But without further ado, I do hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.